Hey everybody, I'm DTM Alpha, and today I'm doing something a little bit different. This is a game when I saw on Google Play, I got unbelievably excited. And I'll get into that a little more. Just to let you know, I've played this before, and I'm kind of glad I have. And this will still be kind of a fresh take on the game, and you'll see more about that as well. If you know what Lone Wolf is, you probably already have an idea what I mean. So many years ago, Lone Wolf was a choose your own adventure book series. And when I was a kid, I absolutely fell in love with it. I got my hands on one copy, and that was it for me. So this takes kind of a hybrid approach, but it still quite follows the choose your own adventure. It's also a multi-chapter. There's 4 chapters total. And let's start a new game. Alright, I'm going to stick with normal because the first time I played this I chose hard and it kicked my butt. So we'll stick with normal. I may change difficulty. You are Lone Wolf. Your life is not an ordinary one. You assess and counter all challenges with... Okay, so there's attributes you choose. So... multiple choice menu lets you choose your path and write your own story. Pay attention on what you decide. Your actions shape the world around you. Touch each icon to display its description. Touch the flashing icon at the center of the page to confirm your choice. Alright. So, counter all challenges with, we have the options of, you always prefer a straightforward and decisive approach, although it is often reckless. You rely on your dexterity and intuition to overcome any obstacles, or you carefully assess the details in any situation before attempting to overcome an obstacle. I will choose this one. So it's now changed. You assess and counter all challenges with intelligence. Many are the battles you have fought in defense of Summerland, wielding your... And here's where you get to choose your preferred weapons. So you have swords, maces, and an axe. I'm gonna go with the sword, because I like swords. Wielding your sword, you are more than a gifted warrior. You possess special Kai disciplines that give you mastery of... Healing restores your health and improves your meditation skills. Survival combines the skills of Master, Tracker, Hunter, and Explorer. This is an interesting one, but I'm going to go with the Survival. Oh, that's right, we get several. Mind Blast and Mind Shield, transform your mind into a power psychic weapon. Or Mind Over Matter lets you manipulate objects in your immediate environment. Now, I'd used this one before, and it's pretty useful, but there are situations where this, I think I'm going to prefer. Alright, and finally, Animal Kinship. To communicate with and influence most animals. Perform extraordinary martial feats due to your mastery of weapon skill. I am going to go with this one. Oh, one more. Camouflage enables you to blend into your surroundings, enhancing your stealth and secrecy. Sixth Sense enhances your natural intuition, helping you identify and counter unseen dangers. I'd rather know about what's coming rather than trying to sneak around it. Alright, that was the final attribute. Or disciplines. Survival, Mind Over Matter, Weapon Skill, and Sixth Sense. For Summerland and the Kai. Alright, so this is just showing me... Is this your story? Is this your past? It is indeed. Now, as you saw, there are multiple save files, so you can always start a new game and choose different attributes if you choose.
For many centuries, the Kai Lords defended their kingdom of Sommerland from the Dark Lords of Helgedad. Many battles were fought and won by the Kai, but finally came their demise. 3 years ago, the monastery of your warrior order was attacked by the armies of the Dark Lords. The Kai were destroyed. You were the only one who survived the final battle. All seemed lost, but you retrieved the Sommersword, the one weapon that can slay a Dark Lord of Helgedad. You slew Zagana, the Dark Lord leader, and saved your kingdom from destruction. Now, the lesser Dark Lords hunger to take their revenge. It falls to you, the last Kai Lord of Sommerland, to crush their evil schemes once more.
Blood on the Snow, Chapter 1. Oh, right. So, just skip this. It will become apparent. So yeah, you actually turn the page. You are Lone Wolf. The quest was updated. Oops. Thanks for the interruption. You are Lone Wolf, the last of the Kai Lords and sole survivor of a massacre that destroyed your elite warrior order. You would prefer not to be where you find yourself now, in a narrow mountain pass blanketed with crisp snow, flanked by shadowy timberlands where icy winds whistle through the branches and chill you to the bone. You would prefer not to be here, but duty has called you to this remote part of your domain. You are the Frye Earl of this territory, and you are responsible for the safety and security of the hardy Sumlendian folk who live and prosper in this harsh mountainous borderland. By the way, if you'd rather read this and not hear me read it, just hit the mute button whenever there's text. You have received this disturbing report of enemy activity around the mining village of Rockstarn, and all communication with the village has ceased. Fearful that the settlement may have been attacked by Gyaks, and other Darklands raiders, you have come here to assess for yourself the true situation. After a seemingly endless trek through snow and ice, you have almost reached your destination. Your horse becomes increasingly nervous as you approach the outskirts of the mining settlement. This picture. The smell of wood smoke is being carried along on the chill air, and its acrid aroma unsettles you both. This is not the reassuring smell of smoke that arises from hearth or furnace in the depths of winter. This is a smell of wanton destruction. Your heart sinks. You have journeyed here as quickly as the harsh weather would permit, but despite your valiant effort, you may have arrived too late. Make your choice. Here is a choose your own adventure. So we have 3 options. Use your Kai survival abilities to understand what happened. You don't want to waste any more time. You urge your horse to gallop. You decide to be careful and proceed on foot. I made a different choice last time, and it didn't turn out too well. So, I will be doing this one. The forest clings to the steep mountainside on both sides of the trail. The ground here is very difficult to traverse on foot, and impossible on horseback. It comprises jagged rocks and loose shale, interspersed with treacherously deep and narrow fissures, and they are all covered by a blanket of ice and snow. It will be a very difficult route to take, but if you were to always keep the trail in sight, it would be a sure way to reach Rockstarn. You dismount and pat your horse's head reassuringly, then you retrieve your equipment and personal items from the saddlebag. The horse senses that you must leave him now and go ahead alone. He neighs, softly yet sadly. Fear not, dear friend, you have fulfilled your duty with courage. Now you must return alone to the monastery, where you will be safe. Go as fast as you are able. We shall be reunited there before long. Your horse lowers his head and affectionately he nuzzles your shoulder. His unquestioningly love and loyalty warms your heart. With a last pat of his forehead, you send him on his way, back along the track and the mountain road that leads to the Kai Monastery. You watch him go until he is lost among the trees, and you steel your nerves and resolve to reach Rockstarn as quickly as you can on foot. You tackle the difficult descent with dexterity until you find that the way ahead is blocked by a vast wall of snow. This obstruction is a result of an avalanche that swept down the mountainside a few days earlier, carrying with it many trees and loose boulders. The village of Rockstarn lies beyond this great wall of snow and shattered timber. Right, make your choice. Climb over the avalanche. I think there's a way to... Alright, again. Oh. Okay, making decision through a multiple choice menu may trigger an action event. Be ready for anything or face the consequences. Okay. So this game uses QuickTime events, but I think they use them actually very well in the way that they probably are meant to, the best way they can be implemented. Where completing it either gives you a positive result or a negative result. The alternative is press X to not die, like Resident Evil 4, which is horrible. But this one I think uses them very well. And there'll be more examples of that later, especially in combat. Alright, got it. You examine the wall of snow and discover that a large section is being held in place by a boulder perched precariously on the edge of a steep decline. If you were able to dislodge this boulder, the snowy wall of this section would collapse. It would create a gap through which you could pass to the far side without having to make the treacherous ascent to the summit of the avalanche debris. You scour the surrounding trees looking for a solid branch that you can use as a lever. Fortunately, you discover an ideal bough, strong and straight and set to work fixing it in place behind the boulder. With all your strength, you pull on the end of the stout branch and feel the boulder start to move. There's a loud noise like the rumble of thunder, and suddenly the boulder falls away into the decline, and the snow behind collapses, burying you completely. Fearing suffocation, you struggle to free yourself from the grip of the crushing white prison. After what seems like an eternity, you break through to the surface and gulp down lungs full of cold, fresh air. You came close to being suffocated to death, and this near-death experience leaves you feeling shocked and acutely aware of your mortality. As you regain your composure, you see that the way ahead is now clear. A V-shaped cleft has appeared where the snow wall has collapsed. You traverse the gap in the avalanche, but you are brought to a halt by something black and metallic protruding from the snow. It is the hilt of a sword. From its crude shape and black metal pommel, you deduce that it is a Gyak sword. With your hands, you scoop away the snow from around the sword's blade and you make a gruesome discovery. The tip of this Gyak weapon is embedded in the frozen chest of a little boy. 7 years old at most. Ooh. You bite back your feelings of anger and revulsion. Carefully you remove the caked snow from the child's brown hair, from his head and from the fragile shoulders of his innocent victim. You are filled with a great sadness when you see the look of sheer horror that is frozen, literally, on his tender young face. A small pendant hangs around the child's neck. It is made of some Lendian gold, and there is a name inscribed on it. Sarek. You retrieve this pendant and put it safely in your backpack. Then you cover the dead boy's body with the snow and say a prayer to Goddess Ashir to keep his spirit safe from the forces of darkness. You salute the boy's icy burial mound and pass through the gap in the snow wall to the far side. You are now less than a mile from Rockstarn. Beyond the gap in the avalanche wall, you find the village trail. It is open and clear of obstructions. You start to run along the trail, mindful that you have lost too much time already. You follow the road as it snakes gently through the high timberland, and it is not long before you see the path straighten as it approaches the entrance of Rockstarn. A whirling gray spire of smoke is rising into the cloudy sky above the ravaged settlement. It is being carried along by the icy breeze that whips and howls through the main street. A rustling sound makes you freeze in your mid-step. Slowly you turn to face the sound and you see a pair of hooded amber eyes staring at you from the cover of the snowy foliage. They are the eyes of a wolf, an old male with a distinctive patch of white fur in the center of his forehead. You sense that the rest of his pack is close by. The wolf pack leader nuzzles his way through the foliage and approaches you. His thick gray body fur is highlighted with gold-colored hairs that ripple and gleam as he draws closer. He is a powerful hunter, yet you have no need to be afraid of him. With a narrowing of his wise eyes, he warns you that great danger lies ahead. Yes, my friend, you murmur quietly. Yet face and danger I must. Here are my people. They are my pack. I am their leader, and I must protect them. Okay, and here we have the map. Alright, little map. Do you want to write your story from here? Yes. Don't have much choice. The village of Rockstarn was once a thriving and vibrant mining community nestling among the slopes on the surrounding mountains. Life here on the border with the Darklands is harsh, yet the villagers of Rockstarn are a hardy and industrious community. They are fiercely loyal to you, their liege lord, and to King Ulnar and Summerland. Now Rockstarn lies silent and smoldering. The noise of its steam engines and its armory no longer echoes among the high peaks. Cautiously, you approach the entrance to the village. It is eerily quiet. The smell of wood smoke that you detected from a distance is now heavy with the cloying stench of death. You stare unblinkingly at the horrific scene that greets you. The blood-soaked and lifeless bodies of villagers lie strewn about the streets. Many were cut down as they fled, while others died fighting desperately to protect their loved ones and their homes. Recent snowfall has covered the slain with a thin white shroud, sparing you the unsettling sight of their gaping frozen wounds. All around, several shops and dwellings have been badly burned or completely destroyed by fire. There are too many victims hereabout for you to gather their bodies and give them a decent burial, as is the customary practice in Summerland. The terrible price that has been paid by the villagers of Rockstarn, partly as a consequence of your late arrival, weighs heavily on your heart. You close your eyes, raise your face to the cloud sky, and make a silent plea to Goddess Ashir to gather and protect the souls of the slain. You open your eyes and advance along the main street, your nerves as taut as wound steel wires. Then you hear something. It is the sound of bare feet on fresh snow. It is followed by the rattle of loose armor and a gurgling growl that sets your pulse racing. It is a yak. Och ek akak tag jaknek. It drools through its sharp, uneven teeth. You recognize the foul Gyak language and know enough of it to translate the creature's chilling utterance. I bring you a slow death. We will see about that. Your fears are confirmed by the presence of this hateful Gyak. Rockstarn has been attacked by a Gyak raiding party. The creature stalking towards you is only one of many now occupying the village. Gyak closes in, and defiantly you stand your ground. You can expect to receive no mercy from this creature, and you will give none in return. Combat time. So the combat is turn-based, but with a little bit of a twist. This is pretty cool right here, actually. Summer Sword melee techniques. Alright, so I'll explain real quick. So it's turn-based, but there's a timer bar. So if you're really quick, you can squeeze in an extra attack or maybe even two. So it's really about your reactions. And then there's some QTE elements to this, which will become pretty apparent. So I'll just well, you'll see as I demonstrate, as I fight. There's no real reason to explain it. So let's get to it. Let's get this guy. Summer Sword. Alright, charge event. Alright, so if I hadn't done that, I don't think the attack would have been successful. Oh, he dodged! What a prick! Oh, I killed him. Well, crap. Okay, so yeah, the yellow bar on the left, the vertical bar, is my attack meter. Oh, no. Oh, crap. Right, so he's going to attack. Okay, so it's my turn. Why am I not getting prompts? Right, swipe. Okay, so there it is. So that's pretty much the QTE element. Oh, figs. Okay, so I didn't hit it when it lighted. When it oh, now it's oh, right. There we go. All right, so you got to hit it when it comes in and when it reaches the circle. So that's a QTE event. So it either increases damage or you miss the attack, rather than if you miss the event entirely, you instantly die. So that is QTE done right. Or much better anyways. Hey, treasure! So what do you get? Pine, leather, iron, finest leather pouch, gold crowns. So a lot of this stuff is actually used to improve gear, or I think you can even craft it in certain smiths. You derive no pleasure from killing, but if there is only one survivor still alive in the village, you vow to do everything you can do to find and keep them safe. You turn away from the Gyak's corpses and scour the surrounding buildings for signs of life. But this part of Rockstarn and its inhabitants were hit especially hard. It looks as if the Gyaks wanted to make doubly sure that nobody could escape and raise the alarm. The houses and stores are badly damaged, their once fine facades blackened and charred by fire. The closest building is near to collapse. Much of the roof has fallen in and its walls are cracked and old. Above the smoldering door, you can still see a sign and make out the inscription, Hankar's Store. The store is in such a dangerous condition that you feel it is unsafe to enter. However, it has an attached warehouse that has survived virtually intact. You try to enter, but the door has been barred from the inside. Alright. What do we have? Reach a large hole that you spotted in the front of the building. Strength to bash the doorway. Mind over matter powers on the door itself. Here we go. So this is where this choice will come in quite handy. Hopefully. Okay, precision event. Oh! Okay. Alright. Cool. See, now it even gives you a second chance. So you can still fail, but not completely fail the event. It just, you have to continue longer. Excellent. I didn't know that. You put your Kai powers to good use. You detect that the door is secured by a plank of wood, held in place by 2 iron brackets. These brackets have been badly weakened by the fire. You will the plank to rise up and whirl about the storeroom. You hear a loud thud, followed immediately by an angry curse. Och Zutag. The spinning plank has hit a Giark hard on the head. You sense there's more than one Giark in the store. Seizing the element of surprise, you throw the door open and rush into the store with your weapon raised, ready to strike. So another bit of combat. So soon. Alright, so he's dazed. How come I can't? Why? Oh, my green is low. Alright, I might have to use a potion. Light attack, okay. Oh, shoot. Oh, I can't use a potion. Hopefully that'll get him. Yes! Alright, one down. Ah, shoot. Come on, don't kill me. Don't kill me. Ooh, up. Oh, I could be dead. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh! I think that gives you life back. Or not. That was supposed to do something. Oh well. Oh, excellent. Throwing knives. The blackberry potion. Yeah, okay. I'll have to go back. I don't remember what the blue is. The green is stamina, and obviously a red is health. So, even if you have time on the attack meter on the left side, if you're out of green, you can't attack. And I forgot that. So we'll take all. And I'm not going to read any further because I think I'm going to end the video here. Because, wow, I've been recording for quite a while. But anyways, red bar represents vitality, blue your Kai power, and the green one your endurance. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna have to take this health potion. Alright, so, current objective, journal. Alright, that's enough of me messing about, trying to get, I guess I probably should have either read some of that stuff or refamiliarized myself with everything. But I'll get back in the hang of it, and I'm going to stop the video here, and if this seems like your kind of thing, I'm going to continue this series until, you know, maybe I get enough feedback that it's not something that people enjoy. But I did do this video with a certain person in mind, and I may continue just for them. But if you're into this kind of thing, because it's if you're a parent and you want to get your kids into reading, but you know, you want to make it interactive, then this could be a really great option. It's available on iOS. I believe it's available for the Amazon tablets. On Android, the first chapter is free, and then there's an option to buy the entire series. So you get both the interactivity of choosing your own path. You're not simply reading, but you're actually part of the story. And that's what got me as a kid. When I was a kid and I discovered these books, I didn't ask for video games for Christmas or my birthday. I asked for Tower Book and Barnes and Noble's gift cards. And when I would get them, I would go straight and get the next book in the series, even if I hadn't finished the first one, because I wanted to have it ready to go. I did not want the story to end. And this brings me back. This is a brand new storyline, but you know, it's still, oh god, you know, this got me heavily reading at a very early age. And just having that experience again, plus you actually have a video game, you know, there's combat and even more interactivity. Not simply back then rolling dice or randomly picking a number, which, to be honest, I always cheated. Every time there was a combat event, I simply chose the page or the section that said I won. Plain and simple. So here, you actually have to put effort into the combat. So anyways, thanks very much for watching. Please check it out. It's, the story alone is great. It's, you know, I don't know. I've gone on too long about this. So anyways, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. See you next time, and you guys take it easy. Bye.